I think that we are good to go. Welcome back to the University of Ghana into your third year, and specifically to the course Rationalism, PHIL307. It's an elective, and so it specializes in an area that you choose to do. You elect to do it if you want to. We hope that we are able to give you a good experience. I sent you some announcements. I suppose that some may not be on Sakai yet because you are still sorting out school fees matters. It will settle soon. So let's work until you're able to join us. We will start everything afresh as though you didn't see those announcements. So let's go quickly to our Sakai, which will be our basic, most firm mode of communication. Okay. It's important because of how things are now. We want to make sure that you have a reference point that is reliable for academic work. So this is City Campus. I'll take you to your City Campus course site. I suppose you can see my screen. So this is your City Campus course site. This is the first announcement I have posted for you. It was a welcome and an introductory note. I'll need one of you to read it quickly, and then we'll start from there. So if you want to read and you are able to, kindly raise your hand. I'll call you quickly and we can read. It's for the benefit of those who are not on the site yet. Okay, so I see Franklina Dochu's hand. Franklina, go ahead. Everyone is muted, so kindly unmute first and then read for me what you see on your screen. My first notice to the class, which was a welcome and introductory note. Oh, Franklina, your hand was up. Oh, okay. Who would want to read, please? Okay, so no one wants to read, so we will not read. We'll move on quickly. I wanted us to walk you through what I had communicated to the class. It also has your link. And so that's what you see on the screen now. We then move straight forward to, I'm sure you know your way around Sakai, so to the overview tool, and it will show us what I have put there on your course outline for you. So you have a fair idea of how to navigate your way through the semester. I see Emmanuel Tibila, I think. Yeah, I know that name. So Emmanuel Boase's hand. Emmanuel Tibila Boasa. Please go ahead. Read for us. Afterwards, I see Matthew too. So you, Emmanuel, read. This is the University of Ghana, the Department of Philosophy and Classes. It's the School of Arts, and it's the first semester of 2022-2023 academic year. We are going to course syllabus, which is the same for both main and city campuses. It is PHIL307 Rationalism. It's a 3 credit hour course. It means you have 2 hours contact with the lecturer, 1 hour tutorial time contact, making 3 quality hours contact with the course every week to earn you the degree you earn in the course, the grade you earn in the course. Lecture period is, for main campus students, it's 130 to 320 KAB. We had our session last Tuesday. City campus, you want a blended mode. That's what your campus wants. Originally, you would have alternated 1 week in person, the other week online, 1 week in person. We thought that could be frustrating sometimes, and it doesn't help for continuity, but it's avoidable. So here we are, we have negotiated first straight block online, and then the next half of the semester in person. We wanted the in person first, but I thought we thought that could create problems for the campus in terms of venues and all that. So we will do the online for the first 6 weeks, and then the second half, hopefully there will be spaces left for us to fill in for the in person. So ultimately, you will have both slots. For your teaching, so you know my details. Yours truly, Dr. Nancy Miles for GMP. Office location, room 23. Office hours for this semester, I'm able to be available in person where it is urgent. I don't want people coming to the office to ask for things that we have already communicated to. It will create a lot of stress for all of us. You see that. If it is something we've communicated on by announcement to you, or you can even ask by WhatsApp message, or email, then you do that. It saves all of us the stress because of your numbers, then our ability to deliver quality content to you. Okay. So if it is not urgent, please don't come to the department to ask. All right. But if you need to speak to the person, the lecturer in person, then you do the office hours, 12 to 2. Okay. I put my other details there. The teaching assistant originally was Nalamli Lamte, whom you may be familiar with, but she's unable to make it apparently, I've been told. So we'll get a replacement in your TA, current TA, Mohammed Napari, whose contact will be put there for you. So that is how come. Let's have course description then for Emmanuel Boasa. Please read. Oh dear. Course description for us. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Course description.
Yeah.
Please, I can see at the far end, at the right hand side.
Yeah, I'm trying to reduce. I'm also trying to do. If it won't show, let me just show you the original document. I'm projecting from Sakai for those who claim that they don't see anything on Sakai. But if it is not help, I will share the original document on my desktop shortly. I think I have it. Okay. So yeah, so let me now share that. Whilst we do that, I want to encourage all of you to make it a point to find content for yourself. I know that quite a number are not on Sakai yet. It is because of you we are going through everything again. But I'm hoping that you will make it your own responsibility, to get content if for some reason you are not on Sakai yet. Go ahead, sir. I think you can see now. Emmanuel, can you see my screen now? Yeah.
Yes, please, I can see it.
Excellent. Go
Course
ahead.
description.
Yes.
This course focuses mainly on the ideas of key rationalists in Western philosophy, such as Plato, Descartes, Leibniz. This course focuses mainly on the ideas of key rationalists in Western philosophy, such as Plato, Descartes, Leibniz, among others, to interrogate the question of knowledge, how it is attained, and what constitutes a justification for
What
knowledge
constitutes
Sorry,
a justification? Yeah.
what constitutes a justification for knowledge claims? In delineating the various conceptions of rationalism, the course engages some African philosophical perspectives to show that the traditional rationalists, such emphasis, in delineating the various conceptions of rationalism, the course engages some African philosophical perspectives to show that the traditional rationalist or empiricist distinction may not be exhaustive of the possible source of comprehensive knowledge after all.
Good. Thank you. So the point being made is that we will be focusing on Western thinkers mostly, because that's what the course description, the course package in your handbook requires of us. If in future, and we hope so, if that content is revised, then we can do some African or non-Western, if you like, rationalist thinkers. Okay, but for now, the content that is presented for us in our handbook and for which we have a contract with students to discuss is on Western thinkers such as Plato, Descartes, Leibniz, Spinoza, if you like, and some such. So we will focus on them, but we will also try to show in our engagement, in our analysis and discussion of their views, we will bring in some African philosophical perspectives in the bid to show that the traditional rationalist empiricist dichotomy, you know that from level 100, we've studied these two extremes, if you like, of acquiring knowledge, the two main extremes of or sources of knowledge, the rationalists versus the empiricists, and what makes one rationalist and what makes one empiricist. This has been the main, if you like, two sources of knowledge. We would want to show that perhaps there might be alternative sources of knowledge if we teased out, African philosophical perspectives. We would realize that there may be other non-orthodox sources of knowledge, and therefore the two extremes may not be exhaustive of the ones that we can think of as the sources of knowledge. That is a bit enriching, and that should widen the scope of the discourse in epistemology if we were to look at it. Okay, the course objectives and goals are there. These are straightforward. You should be able to read them and know what our target is and therefore what will be expected of you. It will take us to, please be looking on my screen. I'm projecting whilst we speak. It will take us to the learning outcomes, which is the measurable, the measurable outcomes we would require of you. You should be able to recognize, define, and demonstrate an understanding of the rationalist perspectives and the authors that we have discussed. So if we were to discuss Plato, then by the time we finish with Plato, you should be able, the student or the learner should be able to tease out and express with clarity what makes Plato, for example, rationalist, what you find wrong with that, or what you agree with others to find wrong with him, like Locke, see, to find wrong with Plato and stuff like that. You should be able to respond and offer argument for or against the position. That's what I just highlighted. You should be able to demonstrate an appreciation and accommodation of views different from your own and theirs that you have studied, even if you don't even accept or endorse them and stuff like that. So the rest are all straightforward. You should be able to relate these views to personal, national, and global context. I always put that in my learning outcomes because it's not enough, like we studied from Kwame Gyekye, it's not enough to know philosophical theories. They must respond to practical problems of existence. Otherwise, philosophy loses its relevance. Okay, so you should be able to relate those theories, and that is why we will look at stuff like if Obi nkyerɛ akwadaa nyame, no one teaches the child who God is. This is this sort of undergirds or grounds innate knowledge thesis that there is some knowledge that is inborn, innate. It's a rationalist view. So there are certain things you shouldn't be taught. No one will tell you. You may deny it for all you like. You already know, says certain kinds of rationalists. And that means even if the whole society endorses it and pushes it down your throat, you should already know that this should not be done. And so some claims of ethics, some claims of mathematical truth and what have you are supposedly innate. Now, if these were true, look at the implications and the demands it will make on us in our law courts, in our exam rooms. You should know that you shouldn't copy. It is wrong to copy, regardless of what society tells you. Say, hey, man, for be wild. If you are not wild, you won't survive. No one is watching. Charlie, jump the queue and so that you be first in the queue. Societal norms may prescribe differently. What do you already know? Says the innate knowledge thesis, kind of rationality. It has implications, okay, on everyday life. So we'll interrogate some of them. Do we already know some things? If we already know, that's just one type of thesis of rationalism, not all of them, just one type, okay. We will engage such stuff. And my query there is you should know how, or you should delineate, clarify the lines, make the lines clear about how these theories affect personal, national, and global issues, contexts. Okay, very important too. Okay, the method of instruction. I saw Matthew's hand. Let's take Matthew. We'll come back to Emmanuel. Matthew, go ahead. Thank you, Emmanuel. 1 mark for you. Go ahead, Matthew.
Method of instruction. The course content should be delivered in person at the lecture halls for main campus and in the hybrid mode for city campus. Instruction will therefore be supported with resources, announcement, and assessment delivered online through the Sakai Learning Management System, Sakai, LMS, for both campuses. It is the responsibility of learners to check all announcements, assessments, and resources posted on the course site on Sakai. Delivery will include lectures, discussion, in-class group presentation, and general research. For each topic, core issues including the main argument, key terms and concepts, and their definition and explanation will be presented in a lecture form. This will be followed by critical discussion by the class. Questions are always welcome. To make the class discussion meaningful, learners are required to read ahead of each topic and prepare a one-page critical summary on the topic to be discussed. You may be required to present this summary page for grading. Learners are encouraged to read beyond the basic ones and to participate in class discussions. Learners are expected to be present for all lectures and tutorials.
Very good. I beg to tell the class, City Campus Test, that the hybrid mode rather gives you an advantage over those who are doing all in person, an advantage of a kind, okay? Because this session we are having will be recorded and shared. In fact, I don't want to say the other part that students have an advantage over the lecture when it comes to online sessions like this. But the point I'm making is you don't have any excuse in your mind whatsoever. When it comes to yours truly, the one engaging you, I don't deliver any less online. We are all working to meet the requirements of the university, dependent on our campus's arrangement. So this shared, or if you like, hybrid mode of delivery is a city campus proposal to help manage the spacing and at the same time to give you the best quality delivery we can have. So that one is settled. The second one is, so if you come online like we are doing now, you are fully in class. That's why I just told Emmanuel, you have earned that your 1 mark for participation. It's straightforward. It's not any backdoor anything. Straightforward. And if he even drops the course later, the 1 mark will still be sitting on fire. And you know that already with me. If you have, and of course, you have been in class with me for at least 3 or so sessions, 102, 201. Then it's 204 I didn't do with you. So then level 300, you are now with us. Okay. So you know how I teach. I just want you to be alert. You don't come to class unprepared because it can cost you. I want you to come prepared for your own sake so you do well. It's an elective, so you don't stress yourself. It's something to add to what you have. It's not a core, which is a demand made on you where you don't have a choice about. This one you have a choice about. You can choose some other elective. You chose to be here. So let it count. That is my point. I could end the session like this and tell you, all of you now go online and answer some questions I've put in at assignment 2 for you. You should be able to do it because you were required to be online like this. So the time left for us to engage, I can end and tell you, so I've put something on Sakai for you at the announcement to go there now. If you were online with me at Teams, you should just switch that same data and go online and go and answer those questions and then it can be the mode of your unannounced class assessment that I have touched on, all in the bid to make you a bit more involved in the course, not relaxed. Then you are supposed to do your 1-page critical summary, which I may require of you. Don't hide behind the online thing and think it will not be asked of you. Yeah. On the screen now, you see your assessment and your grading. Final exam, 50%. So those who never do anything in the course till they hear it's exam, if you come and even score 50 over 50, which is not possible for essays, you see, you won't score 50 over 50. Even if you did the best essays in the world, it's written. So maybe 45 over 50, yeah. Then the 45 is a reset for you because you get an E, which is a very bad, poor pass. So you don't want to just focus on exam. That's the point I'm making, okay? Then you see your assessment detail in assessment 1, assessment 2, mid-sem test, 20%. Your I will be only 20%. I'm even planning that you do it in class. I look at the scheduling to see. so that it doesn't become you have to spread out your wings. This is a third year, okay, you're advancing. So we want you to learn that. Then you do some group presentation. On your screen again, you see how your essays will be graded, a fair level of understanding of the theory. So if you say you've done Plato, you should show why he's rationalist, his innate knowledge thesis. He believes in life after death. He believes that the real things are non-physical and stuff like that. You should be able to say it offhandedly, That's what we will check. We will check how you are able to express your ideas with clarity and how you are able to organize it. And your evidence, you are showing an evidence of what critical ability. You're able to critique a view. Critique means you subject it to scrutiny. You examine the view, evaluate it, judge it, and bring out your version of it. That's a skill we want to reward you for. Okay. As for what you shouldn't do, I'm sure you are well versed in that. You don't want to come after assessments have been closed, then you come with late submissions. We don't want that. Okay. We don't want you plagiarizing. I'm sure you know already that you don't copy in this woman's class. She'll catch you. Okay. So we want you to try and do independent work. Integrity is always required of you. Your grading skill, you know that. Reading lists, you know that. The secondary sources, some of them are links, I've given them so you don't struggle much. Okay. I'm showing you stuff on the screen. You don't struggle much to find them. Online sources, I've given some to you. I have told you I haven't compiled any reader for any student. So don't bring in, you are not even coming to class. Don't bring, if you find some compiled reader somewhere, you can study it. But don't bring it to class because it raises copyright issues for us. Okay. All right. Now, today, what are we doing? Lecture 1, introductory matters. I've done quite a number of that. Prefatory remarks, discussion of class culture. I've mentioned a lot of that. I have introduced you to your TAs. I don't want to do groups yet because I want people to be independent. But sometime in the third week or so, we will start talking about group work to see how people can work in a team. It's part of the skill you should develop. Teamwork, cooperation, solidarity, the ability to work in a team. In the world out there, you don't go solo. You always work with people and in the midst of people. You have to learn how to do that. Then we will introduce next week's lecture and the assessment that you have to produce by the third week. Lecture 2, the problem of knowledge, skepticism, the sources of knowledge, justification for our knowledge claims. Then it introduces us to the two extremes, rationalism and empiricism. Lecture 3, we'll look at rationality, non-rationality, irrationality, and we'll bring in an African text to show you how the notion of rationality can be confused with what? Rationalism. You will see them when we discuss. Then lecture 4, we'll discuss the rationalist thesis, and that can take us 2 or 3 weeks, but we'll take them at our own pace. Okay. The rationalist thesis, the 3 innate knowledge thesis, innate concept thesis. Then there's a third one we'll discuss. Lecture 5, Plato's rationalism. Now we take each of the authors we want to engage and see which part of the rationalist thesis discussed that they fall into. So we are going to find out whether, for example, Plato's thesis is an innate knowledge thesis or innate concept thesis, or the third one. See, we'll look at that and then we'll discuss Descartes also. If there's time, we'll add Leibniz and the others. Lecture 7, which would also take us about 2 weeks or so, we'll do innate ideas, rationalist claim, and then the empiricist response. Lecture 8, the problem of certainty, analytic synthetic. And here again, if you engaged our level 200 very well, then some of the questions that we asked there will be clearer to you here. Hume's phenomenalism, and how Kant responds to that. Lectures 9 and 10 will look at synthetic a priori truths, how Kant responds to that. And then lecture 11, revision, then queries preparation for exam. You see that some of the topics I said that can take us 3 or so weeks because we'll intertwine them with the other discussions. So when we are discussing, say, the rationalist thesis, we talk about innate knowledge, intuition, deduction thesis, that's the third one. Then we talk about innate knowledge, innate concept thesis. By the time we finish the rationalist thesis, the 3 of them, you will see that we will now see clearly Plato's views and where to place them. We'll see Descartes' views and where to place them. That's the point I'm making. So that main topic will be predominantly visible in the other topics that we discuss. And that will bring us to the end, when we take your queries, we prepare you for exam, and we revise with you. That's the course outline, generally. Any questions? Let me see if there is any question. Okay, Helena, ask your question. Helena, question. If it's a question, if it's not a question, then we are good. So, what you wanted to read? Okay, thank you. So we have seen the course outline. Now let me take you back to Sakai. Then we see what else we have there. Apart from the course outline we have looked at, and then the general announcement shared there, we will also see that on Sakai, I have put some resources for you. This is also to help those who are not there yet. You can ask a friend to download so that you would work with it whilst you prepare to come online. Okay, whilst you get yourself online. So this is it. At resource 2, see, all these are there for you. Please, can you see my resource 2, just to be sure? I think you can.
Yes, please.
Great. At the resource 2, yes, thank you. You see that I have lectures 1 and 2. I am trying not to start a lecture today. So last week, I didn't teach content as in the lecture 1 proper. I did like what we've done to give you a fair idea of how the semester is going to go. And then you should like the skeleton. So when we start putting flesh to it, you know that this flesh is going to the hand. This one is the arm. This one is the leg. This one is the stomach. It helps for organized study. Okay. But if you look on my screen now, this is lectures 1 and 2 slides already posted. It was posted long time ago. Okay. What is the other one? Lecture 3, innate knowledge, innate concept. See, that's lecture 3. So if you are studying, you can study ahead, and that way you will have your questions clearly outlined in your mind. When we meet, then we discuss. You can see my lecture 4, but I think that I have put this lecture 3. I see lecture 6. This is a course outline. I see Descartes epistemology. Some of them, you will see that you are familiar with them. Okay, so at least by now, if you have engaged lectures 1 and 2 and lecture 3, I think Plato's Rationalism is lecture 4. We will engage them. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I don't see any question, so we are good to go now. Is there any other thing to add? I think I'm so done. I haven't opened the assignment yet, but on the original plan, if you looked at our course outline, we were supposed to have opened an assignment already. But I realized that sometimes that stresses a lot of people. Students, when they hear that an assignment has been opened already, even if you tell them, oh, when you come, we'll reopen it for you to do, they still don't feel settled, those who are still not in yet. So I wouldn't open the assignment for now, but I'll encourage the class to read around it and prepare for topic 1. If you look at the slides there, you see, if you look at the links I've given you in the references, you should do fine. Roxanne, Edu Jemfi. Johannes, it's a question, go ahead.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
I want to know if the assignment given to the campus is posted on the main campus, like since I'm not listed.
You want to know if the assignment given to who, please?
Like given to the city campus students. We posted on
which assignment is that?
Sakai.
Which assignment is that?
Assignment I mean, if suppose assignments are given city campus,
Where is it?
I was told to join this class.
Did I give an? I can't hear you clearly. That's why. Am I giving an assignment?
No, I'm asking if suppose an assignment is given for city campus students.
My brother, this is city campus class. If you have joined because you're a main campus, you have a different issue. Don't bring it up during the class session. Do you understand me? You should send an email so that it doesn't even become known to the class here, because this is city campus. So I'm addressing city campus. Okay.
Yeah,
I know you are a main
going to
campus
send
student who cannot attend main campus time because of your other class. No problem with that. But right now, I'm addressing city campus. So you have to wear the coat of city campus. If I ask an assignment, if I give an assignment here, then you can send me a message and ask, Doc, please, because of my peculiar problem, where should I submit my assignment? Then I can respond to that. But right now, I'm addressing city campus. Okay, let's respect the class and not bring our main campus concerns to the class. I hope you understand me.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. So we are going to end, my dear students, but I want to make sure that we have a city campus representation, someone who represents the class, so that if there is communication and I give it to that person, I know that I've given it to the class. Of course, I will use the Sakai platform, but of course, you need a rep, someone to represent you. So if you want to represent the class, raise your hand. If there are many, who vote. Quick, please. I don't choose class reps. I ask for nomination. The people, I say nomination, volunteers. If you raise your hand and you volunteer to be the class rep, then I run you back. There's only one hand up. Someone else wants to represent the class. Going. If we have two, it doesn't hurt. As for the name Emmanuel Tibila Boasa, I know it from, if I'm not mistaken, level 100. I don't know the face, but I know the name. Okay, so I see 3 hands. So Emmanuel is booked. I see Joseph Ose and Abukari Samihatu. So we take all 3. Thank you. Oh, now there are 4. Jude. Hey, where did you go? Where did you go? That's hey Jude.
Doc, Doc, I'm here.
Good to know that you are here. My friend who served me all this time. Okay, so we have at least 4 people representing the class. That's fine. We have the other people who have dropped your hands. Should we keep only 2? Should we keep Emmanuel and Abukari Samihatu, sorry. I see Joseph says hand too, and I see Jude. Okay, so we have 4 people. It's fine. Don't worry. When we have to do group work, we'll have 4 people to answer to us. Thank you very much. We'll meet God willing next week. This is on record, so we'll pull it out and then share the link. I'm not sure if there is so much that someone would have lost if they weren't present, but we'll share the link anyway for the benefit of those who didn't. We'll meet God willing next week online to discuss topic 1, lectures 1 and 2 together. Wherever we get to, pause and continue. All the best and take care.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, sir.
Doc, please, you said next week online.
Who is asking me the question, please?
Doc, please, it's me, Jude.
Jude, you said, what's your question, please?
Doc, please, you said next week online. I wanted to know whether we are still having online next week.
Were you with us from start, Jude?
Yes, please. You just said online, so probably it was.
Please, I want to ask the generality of the class. What mode are we meeting next week? Online or in person?
In person.
You can answer.
Online.
Hello, Jude.
Online for the first week.
Thank you very much, Jude. So we have discussed, though. I have discussed extensively. Even the course outline has said it, and I have stressed it a little bit more. So please, when I send you the video, play it back again and look at the course outline, Sakai also. We are meeting for the first 6 weeks online. Then the second half we do in person. Thank you all very much. Yes,
okay, thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you, my brother. Take care, everyone, and all the best.
Thank you, Doc.